So, after burning my brain cells with too much action webtoons, I finally got the chance to read something that would regenerate from me some brain power. So why you not try that too? Here are the top 5 medical manhwa out there, and without any further ado, let's open the box. Starting with number 5, we have Perfect Surgeon. The MC gives up his dream of becoming the perfect doctor who never mistreats a patient so that he can provide for his sick mother, and thus he works as a dermatologist in a small clinic. He has a condition of being prone to static electricity. Basically when he touches machines, electricity goes poof. Anyhow, one day, when he agrees to help a friend with his AI experiment, that condition of his becomes a blessing. Not long later that he notices the changes of his body, as his eyesight gets better and the holograms start popping up in the air, providing him with info about his work and what he needs to do for the best results. It's intriguing how the AI merges with the MC, gives him special abilities and turns his life upside down for the best to once again pursue his big dream. Kinda like how it is in Nanomachine, but in modern world in the medical expertise. The story gives bountiful info about the medical field and uses many hard terms, which could be annoying or catchy depending on the reader. The characters are generic but feel realistic too, and the art is acceptable, so give it a look. In number 4 comes I'm the Only One with Genius DNA. Ignoring the embarrassing title of the webtoon, the story begins with the MC who is abandoned by his girlfriend after he got himself suspended and exiled into the worst department of the facility he works in as a medical researcher. At a later date, he experiments with an artificial cell he finds in the new department, and somehow the artificial cell fuses with his blood. After some time, the MC realizes that he actually has now an artificial cell that resides in his body and acts like a gaming system. Yeah, don't ask me how that works, really. Just don't. As time passes, the MC discovers his new abilities, which allow him to invent a new medicine for incurable diseases, like ones that cause even blindness, for example. And just like that, the MC starts his journey of changing the world entirely with his super abilities. The MC is truthful, fair, and honest. As a scientist, he never puts himself first and always thinks of improving the world. His abilities seem to be limitless when it comes to biology, but the MC knows when to stop. It's also interesting to see him develop the system, which has its own mind and consciousness. There are various types of characters making this story lively, like even the side characters that we see as patients are quite dynamic. Plus, the art is decent. Reading this story can be a hassle though for its suffocating amount of information and weird terms, so maybe approach it only when your mind is clear. Following up in number 3, we have are reincarnated as the legendary surgeon. Having lived a messed up life, where his future as a doctor got taken from him and his girlfriend betrayed him even though he sacrificed so much for her, the MC finally meets death at the hand of a hitman. But thanks to his good deeds in his life, he is offered a chance of reincarnation with his memories intact. Of course, the MC grasps this opportunity and intends to use it to live as a doctor and save as many lives as he can, and thus he finds himself in the era of the 3 kingdoms of China. The MC is very compassionate about his job, cheerful with a smile on his face all the time, and good-hearted even though he once lived a harsh life. He uses his knowledge of modern medical techniques to treat others, which seem to people as miraculous medical arts that could bring the dead back to life. It's really captivating to see how the MC develops his equipment and materials over time to cure incurable diseases, and how the world and people react to it. The MC seems to have some special powers that are yet to be fully addressed, and he even has talent for martial arts, which can as well be a result of his reincarnation. The characters are quite cliché but enjoyable nonetheless. The art is passable and suits the vibes of the story, so give it a try. And in number 2 comes Doctor's Rebirth. After he finds himself in the midst of a civil war as a doctor, the MC reactively sacrifices his life to save a kid, but strangely enough he opens his eyes once again, to only find his soul possessing a kid's body in the Murium world. Well, it doesn't take long enough for us and the MC to realize that he's been reincarnated in the world of a Murium novel he already finished reading. He saves the life of the original protagonist of the novel, becomes the disciple of the godly doctor, and starts start his venture to become the greatest doctor ever known in the world. But not only that, as he also trains in martial arts under his master to protect himself and his people. The techniques shown in the story, be it medical or martial, are fascinating, especially how the magical and scientific methods are combined. The characters that perform those techniques are full of life, and their interactions with each other keep the flow of the story seamless. The plot itself develops as the story goes on slowly but steadily. The MC's personality is very likable as he is decisive and thoughtful, but still has a sly side of him. The art is just amazing to top it off. I would highly recommend it, either you like martial arts webtoons or medical webtoons. In number 1 we have, of course, Medical Return. I'm sure a lot of you know this one already, but I couldn't finish it off without mentioning it. Anyway, the MC lives his life pitifully and fails at everything he does, even as a doctor. He loses his beloved ones and eventually loses himself too. But on a faithful night, a heavenly being rewards the MC for his efforts. And just like that, the middle-aged man travels back through time. Now, he is a middle schooler with the memories of a middle-aged man. The only supernatural thing in this story is the premise, but there is enough already as it gives the MC a huge advantage that makes him look like a genius compared to others. What I like about this story most is that it tells us almost the whole life story of a man and not a part of it. It follows the important instances on his journey and actually gives a satisfying ending. Yes, this story is finished and is one of the best completed webtoons out there. The MC tries to gain money and have an easy yet stable and successful life for him and his family, but along the way, he faces challenges that force him to take the hard path he never wanted to take. The plot revolves more around the MC and his relationships with his friends and enemies, but almost all of the events occur in the medical environment. Each character is unique, be it the side characters or the female lead, or even the antagonist, who is really one of the best villains a story could have. I mean, the dude kills puppies. If that doesn't make you messed up, I don't know what does. The art is good, of course, so have a look at it.
Well, I hope you found something to read, and as always, thanks for watching.
素晴らしい。
See you again when opening another box.